Hi everyone, my name is Zach Reinhardt. I'm running a company called CG Boost here in my little office in the basement of my house in northern Germany. We are currently a team of 8 passionate artists creating comprehensive online courses and teaching 3D animation and 3D art using the free 3D tool called Blender. Of course, my little office here is a bit too small to fit the entire team. However, that's the benefit of running an online business because your teammates can be scattered around the world. For me, it's definitely challenging to run an online business, manage everything and still find time for the most exciting part, teaching 3D art and animation to people all around the world. But ever since some great people joined my team over the years, things got a lot easier. So today I brought the team together to answer some questions about challenges creatives are facing and get a bit of advice from them. By the way, today is also my birthday, yay! That means we have our big birthday sale running with 30% off all our courses and 15% off all our course bundles. This will run for the next 3 weeks and you can find all the links and more info down below in the video description. There's a lot of change in the creative industry currently. Do you still think it's worth learning Blender in 3D?
I feel scared myself often when I go online.
I'm assuming the main change is the AI sort of invasion, if you will.
Yeah, I think it is. But of course, it's gonna be different.
A lot of them I understand with the AI and stuff at the moment seems to be somewhat of a threat towards 3D content creation.
We'll see. And these days, there are kind of dips in the amount of people who want to learn from tutorials, or at least that's how it feels like to me.
And the main thing that I keep coming back to every single time someone asks me, like, what's the point? Like, are you worried about your job and all this sort of thing? Is I find that an AI will only get you so far.
I've talked to a lot of young people lately, and all of them say that they have this really dislike to everything AI generated.
But when I get offline or when I speak to other passionate artists, for me, it's like an absolute yes. It's absolutely worth learning 3D and Blender in this case.
Yes, I think that it is still valid. Especially we've seen a lot of excitement with our Martin's cinematic course, which is kind of focusing on the fundamentals of art.
And if you just enjoy doing stuff, it's the 3D medium is very broad. You can do so many things. Like now we have grease pencil. You can even do 2D things in Blender. It's just so many different things you can do.
If I think about what smartphones, the changes they brought to photography, or 3D itself and some of the changes it brought to traditional animation, those people who focused on art fundamentals or photography fundamentals can always just easily adapt. And if they still use professional cameras and if they're given a smartphone, they can take better pictures than people who don't understand the fundamentals.
So it doesn't mean that 3D or art in general won't be required anymore. I just think it's gonna back to focus more on art, not just work. Even for work, the art side gonna matter even more.
An AI will get you about 75% of the way there, and then it'll just kind of do its own thing. There's a certain point where you have to just sort of give up and accept that that's the best you're going to get. Whereas when you can make the thing yourself, even if it takes a while to get to the point where you can really make what you want to make, the results are far better and they're far more rewarding because you made the thing. It wasn't just you telling something else to make the thing.
And the most hopeful, the most positive way I look at it is that smaller creators and smaller teams will be able to create bigger projects.
It's gonna be less industrial stuff and production stuff, big production stuff, but more indie, more individual artists, individual studios doing unique things.
Even if you can do some things in an automated way, using AI or any other automation tool, it's really good to have the ability to really make something with your own hands, because then you have full control and you are kind of aware of the process.
I just really enjoy it, and a lot of it for me is the journey
me, and it's the process. And if you take all of that away and you're just left with a result, it feels, for me anyway, kind of hollow. Yeah, that's just the craft of it.
Having an understanding of how things work behind the scenes, like the technical side and just the view, how you want to have things, or like the design of it, you still need someone like that. So if you want to be that person, well, you have to learn it.
For example, I've seen recently one of our active community members sharing her sculpted figure that she 3D printed on a printer and like make a tabletop game kind of figurine with her own dragon that she sculpted in Blender. So this is like the feeling of being able to put something out of your imagination into a 3D program and then back into a real thing that's on your table. I think it's super exciting.
We don't know to which degree things are changing, but I think focusing on the fundamentals of what has proven to be deep and long-lasting is absolutely worth it.
Sitting for too long is not good, so let's take a quick stretching break. Today is actually a special day because it's my birthday. And every year on my birthday we do our big CG Boost birthday sale. This means all our Blender courses are 30% off, and for the first time ever, all our new CG Boost Blender course bundles are 15% off. You know, stretching like this is a good reminder that progress comes step by step. You don't suddenly touch your toes like you don't master Blender overnight. Here at CG Boost, this is what we focus on, helping you to take those small steps that build into something amazing. In a world where it's tempting to create quick and shallow content, there is something deeply rewarding about making art with your own hands, even with digital tools like Blender. So, no matter if you join one of our free courses or jump straight into a premium one, you'll always be welcome in our supportive community where we all grow and learn together and encourage each other along the way. So, if you'd like to join in, use the coupon code HBD25 over at cgboost.com/courses to get 30% off all our courses and 15% off all our course bundles. The sale is running till October 31st, 2025, and you find all the links and details down below in the video description. Enough of stretching, let's get back to the team. Ellen, what is the most funniest or most unexpected part of your job?
I think for me, I started out in 3D because I wanted to make films. I was inspired by big, epic movies, Pirates of the Caribbean, Lord of the Rings type stuff. And I was like, oh, I want to do that. So I started learning 3D. I, over time, started giving up on that dream of being like a Hollywood filmmaker and decided to let it go and focus on what's the like deeper desire here. And for me, instead of just, I'll only feel happy if I make films, it's more happy making storytelling and being involved in storytelling. And so when I started working here and we needed to launch our Master 3D Characters course, I was talking with Jim and he's like, okay, I'm busy like finishing the course. Why don't you do the trailer? So I'm like, okay. And I started getting storyboarding. I started setting up cameras and stuff. And then I realized, like, wait a minute, like, I'm doing a film here. I'm doing a story in a trailer, that thing that I kind of gave up that dream on, and I'm here doing it. So that was very unexpected and really fun.
Masha, when life changes and gets really busy, how do you make sure that your artistic side still thrives?
If I really can't work on creative stuff, I just make sure I still follow the things by watching what other artists do, or even just doing small stuff like drawing here and there, or quick little projects I will never publish anywhere. Still something. You try to like manage time in a better way and try to cut up some small chunks to make sure you can do at least a small something. Maybe like the lizard project I made when my daughter has born. It was not experimental and I haven't done anything new, but it was something I did that like made me happy, even if it's not like challenging or anything like that.
So when you're designing something and feel out of creative ideas, how do you get the creative juice flowing again?
More often than not, I will walk away from the situation and give myself a little bit of time and try and sort of reapproach it with fresh eyes. That and pulling together tons and tons of references, like absorbing myself in other people's work that I really like. Doesn't even necessarily have to be the same type of work, even if it is just like a fun kind of effect or style that they've used that I can draw inspiration from. That's great. And music as well. I think I have some quite particular playlists that are more often than not incredibly cheesy mashups of 80s cartoons. But for some reason, like I hear Thundercats in the background and I'm like, right, I'm ready to work now. This is good stuff. Oh, and milestones as well. Like the whole notion of when things feel too big, giving yourselves really small milestones to the extent of my milestone is I'm going to sit down and open Blender and that's it. And by the time you're actually sat down in front of Blender and stuff, it's all, oh, I might as well do something. So then it just sort of goes into the flow again.
Daniel, how do you keep your projects fun when the work gets really technical?
Well, I mean, I thankfully have a bit of a technically minded brain, so the technical side of things is actually quite fun for me. Even when you are doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, every second time you do something, there's some little thing about it that makes it really kind of annoying or challenging. So finding workarounds for those little problems and trying to find new ways to do the same thing in this new situation, I do find that quite enjoyable.
Martin, how do you stay calm and focused during long projects when distractions are everywhere online?
I don't. I try to do as many like free time activities as I can in the time that I have, which is never enough. But you know, my hobbies are dancing and martial sports, so I try to somehow combine those two, and it's a lot of physical activity, so that definitely helps. And I also try to like limit my screen time. So every evening I try to just have a book instead of looking at monitors. So that's great practice. Most of the books that I read are actually from about ancient Greece. So they bring me back to my personal projects, and they give me fresh info, fresh inspiration for that. And that then drives my professional efforts.
Jim, what do you do when you feel that your 3D skills aren't improving, no matter how much you practice?
I have a nasty habit of, if I don't know something, it really bugs me. So when I see any kind of new thing that someone else is showing off, like at a Blender conference or one of the team members, I kind of get obsessed with like trying to figure out how it works. So I don't really run into the problem of I don't feel like I'm progressing because I tend to jump from subject to subject. So I find that once you get into like a wall, you hit a wall, it's best to kind of change subjects. And then when you come back, you have a fresher mind. It's something that makes it easier to absorb the new information. So I just jump from subjects. If I feel I get stuck, well, I'll try something else and see if I get like the new feeling for that. So it gets more exciting because you're like, oh, it's shiny new. Jump onto that. And then once that kind of runs into a wall, we'll jump back to the previous thing. And it's kind of how I progress and expand a lot. And it keeps things also a lot more fun and fresh for myself, which helps me stay focused.
How do you stay focused on one thing in Blender when Blender has so many features to offer?
That's a tough one. That's a tough one because I don't always stay focused and I'm kind of interested in a lot of parts of Blender. But then I find that the most helpful thing to stay focused is focus not on the tools that are amazing and, you know, you see geometry nodes pop up or, you know, grease pencil. Everything is kind of exciting and you would like to pursue all the directions at the same time. But then what really matters is the project that you're currently working on. So focusing on the actual work itself, it helps to select the tools that you really need to learn. So I'm also thinking that this is a perfect way for learning and following tutorials. Like people also ask this in the community sometimes, like what path with the courses should I take? And I always reply like you need to ask yourself what is the end goal that you're after? What is the artwork that you want to create? And then once you dig into the specific project, then it kind of tells you which tools you need and which things you need to like focus on learning.
So, I made this video here to give what we do online a face. In the end, we are a team of passionate 3D artists that love to teach and inspire others. So, feel free to come over, join our community, learn from our courses, get inspired and inspire us with your work. Remember, our birthday sale is currently running with 30% off all our CG Boost Blender courses and 15% off all our course bundles, which already come at a very good price. Just use the coupon code HBD25 over at cgboost.com/courses. All the links and details you will find down below in the video description. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great time and see you next time. Goodbye.